Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode is a post-fight episode for UFC Fight Night Better versus Nogueira, Part 2. And this was a great light heavyweight main event. Yeah, this was a Brazil card right after the Ireland card. Due to time zone differences, they were able to air both cards on the same day, and this fight card was right after the Ireland card, and in Western Pacific Standard Time here in California, it was all in one day. So yeah, I'm just able to get to the film a post-fight show for this amazing card now. Yeah, this was a pretty good card overall, and yeah, it's a post-fight show, the main card, and let's get started. So I'll start off with the main event on this one. So the main event was a light heavyweight clash with two top-ranked light heavyweights in the UFC, Ryan Bader versus Antônio Rogério Nogueira. And I picked Ryan Bader to win by knockout. He did win by knockout. His TKO punches, round 3 for Ryan Bader. Ryan Bader, I believe, came into this ranked number 4 according to the UFC rankings. But it depends on which rankings you look at too. And I think right now, please UFC, if you're watching, give Ryan Bader a rematch with Anthony Rumble Johnson and put in the UFC interim light heavyweight title on the line at UFC 206 in the main event to save that card, since Daniel Cormier, the current UFC light heavyweight champion, is injured and had to pull out. So that way you save the pay-per-view main event and you have a belt and you keep things moving forward, because Daniel Cormier has been injured multiple times now and had to pull out of multiple main events now. And yeah, it's so, we gotta have we gotta have something to move things along, and Ryan Bader looked impressive in this fight. He's, I believe, 7-1 in his last 8 fights. He's on a 2-fight win streak. I think he could go up against Anthony Johnson. Whether he gets squashed or not, I mean, he's kind of earned a title shot at this point. And I think he learned his lesson in that first Anthony Johnson fight, not to overcommit on a takedown too early on. And he's going to play it a little safer and go in for some good wrestling down the line. But I mean, the guy's a grinder. He could go 5 rounds if he wants. And so can Anthony Johnson. So it would make for a good fight, and you got 2 top 10 light heavyweights duking out for interim belts. I think UFC, if you're watching, that fight makes a lot of sense. Assuming Ryan Bader's healthy, which I think he was after this fight. So yeah, Ryan Bader, he just pretty much plowed right through Antônio Rogério Nogueira. He got good dominant positions in the first 2 rounds, and then he demolished him in the 3rd round and finished him off with TKO punches. So good job, Ryan Bader. Now on to the co-main event. We have a bantamweight clash with Thomas Almeida and Albert Morales. Thomas Almeida was on a massive win streak, and then had that big setback with Cody Garbrandt. He was devastated. I think a lot of people were devastated, and I think I picked Thomas Almeida to win that one, and so I was definitely devastated. Albert Morales, top prospect to look out for in bantamweight division. Great record, still a young guy. Yeah, Thomas Almeida, 2nd round TKO punches. I thought it was going to be a 1st round TKO punches, not to take anything away from Albert Morales, but Thomas Almeida really is that good. And I think he did learn a lot from that Cody Garbrandt fight and really did bounce back in training, and it showed in this fight. So Thomas Almeida is definitely still a prospect to look out for in the bantamweight division. So the winner of Garbrandt and Cruz, look out, this guy is making a run for the title. Then in the women's strawweight division, we had Claudia Gadelha versus Courtney Casey. Courtney Casey, again, UFC veteran, like I said on my pre-fight show, and Claudia Gadelha is just on a whole nother level though. And I knew she would get dominant positions, and she did just that. She got 30-27 unanimous decision. Claudia Gadelha is just she's really good at transitioning to get takedowns, and she's really good at pinning her opponents down and making them have to work real hard to try to get back up. I mean, Joanna Jacek, our current women's strawweight champion, she struggled at times, but I mean, she was able to pop back up a fair amount of times in their second fight. And you could imagine if she's struggling to get back up on her feet, how would Courtney Casey, not take anything away from Courtney Casey, but yeah, it is what it is. And Claudia Gadelha was able to ground and pound her way essentially to a unanimous decision victory. So Claudia Gadelha, she's kind of in that Joseph Benavidez role in regards to the title, where she's lost to the current champ twice. So I think it's just a matter of, Claudia just keeps winning and winning and winning, and eventually something's going to happen. So I think she should just hang in there and keep her head up, and something will pan out. Who knows? Joseph Benavidez might get a third shot at the belt, regardless of who wins in the whole Ultimate Fighter finale final match for the belt in flyweight. So yeah, it's definitely interesting to watch in the women's strawweight division as well, with this case of Claudia Gadelha could plow right through that division, and yet she's lost to the champ twice. But yeah, this fight, she definitely looked amazing. And then in the middleweight division, we had Joseph Jotko versus Tally's Ladies. I was pretty devastated by this one because, I mean, Joseph Jotko, he is good on the ground, but I mean, Tally's Ladies, he's amazing on the ground too. And you know, Tally's Ladies, he's obviously a submission guru. However, he has had some big knockout wins, and I thought that would play a factor in this fight, but Jotko proved me wrong, and he got a decision unanimous, 30-27 on two of the judges and 29-28 on the third judge. And yeah, Jotko, he was able to get the dominant positions and look amazing. So yeah, unanimous decision. Good job, Jotko. Then in the welterweight division, we have Kamaru Usman versus Warlley Alves. This one, again, surprised me. I thought Warlley Alves, since he looked so great and dominant on the Ultimate Fighter Season 3 season with Chael Sonnen and Vanderlei Silva as coaches, and Chael Sonnen, as great of a coach he is on the Ultimate Fighter Season 17 as well as Brazil Season 3, he, really was handpicking Warlley Alves to be the next big thing. And when Chael Sonnen does that, you kind of take it pretty well. I mean, you really put that in perspective. And Kamaru Usman, he looked good in the Ultimate Fighter. The team won with Team Black Zillions and American Top Team, but I don't think it was as impressive looking as Warlley Alves. But at the same time, there was never a technical winner of the season that Kamaru Usman was. Had that been the format, maybe Kamaru Usman may have won. So it is kind of apples and oranges. But yeah, this night Kamaru Usman won, and I got it. I had it 30-26. I think there was at least one 10-8 round in there because Usman was so dominant on the strikes and positions and takedowns and everything. So he looked really good across the board on this fight, and Warlley Alves looked like an amateur. And Warlley Alves, I mean, he's looked good in his previous fights. So to do that to a talented fighter and Warlley Alves is just amazing. So yeah, Kamaru Usman won just across the board. I mean, this was one of the biggest lopsided matches on the main card. So Kamaru Usman wins unanimous decision. Then to kick off the main card, we had a welterweight clash with Sergio Moraes and Zach Otto. I forgot who I picked on this one, but Sergio Moraes, Zach Otto. Zach Otto, heavy-handed, good stand-up. Pretty decent wrestling. Sergio Moraes, well-rounded veteran. This one was a hard-fought fight. When I went to the judges' scorecards, it was a little tough. You know what, I believe I picked Zach Otto on this one, and so I was like, darn it, I got this pick wrong. But yeah, decision split, 29-28 on one of the judges' 30-27 on the other two. Yeah, I would say I would have scored this 29-28 across the board on this match, because I think there was at least one round where it could have gone either way than the other two. You could say the other guy. Yeah, so Sergio Moraes, good big win for him. And yeah, that wraps up the post-fight show for this card. Stay tuned for my next episode, which will be a pre-fight show for Whittaker vs. Brunson in Australia, a UFC Fight Night on Fox Sports 1, and it's going to be a good main event. And the rest of the card, you got Jake Matthews and some other talented veterans on there. I believe Kyle Noakes on that card. He's always fun to watch, and so stay tuned for my pre-fight show on that. And until then, see ya.